You're watching 12 Sports tonight on 12+. I'm Jake Garcia. We'll catch up with the rest of the crew in just a bit. But every Thursday night, come hang with us. We're talking all things Arizona sports, and we're going to tell you the important stories, the ones that matter, and introduce you to the people that inspire. This is 12 Sports Tonight, Arizona's OG and longest-running sports show, streaming on 12+. Let's go.
Will the Cardinals have a new head coach by the end of the week? It sure looks that way. The reported favorite is here in the building. Multiple reports say the Cardinals are interviewing Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur today and tomorrow. 38 years old. It's his second interview with the team. Over the weekend, it was reported LaFleur was one of 3 finalists and the front runner for the job. He's been the Rams OC for the past 3 seasons. Doesn't call the plays, but according to Rams head coach Sean McVay, LaFleur is a big reason why the Rams have had a top 10 offense. They have to get this right, guys. If you watch the playoffs, they were the only team in the division not to make the playoffs. There's a team in the division playing for the Super Bowl right now. You got to get this right. You got to get a right leader. LaFleur seems to be the leader in the clubhouse. But I was just checking on this before I came in the studio right now. It sounds like they got a little bit more to go. He's definitely up there, but it sounds like this process could drag out a little bit, and there's a few more names maybe they want to talk to. They did talk to former Panthers head coach Ron Rivera. That's just leaking out now, but that was a couple of weeks ago. He's over there at the University of Cal as their GM of football operations. So a little bit more to go for the Cardinals coaching search, but it seems like fans are kind of circling Mike LaFleur as the guy that they want.
I don't know a dang thing about him, although all I know is he worked with Sean McVay.
Yeah, who's
got a big coaching tree already.
And it seems like, Troy, everybody who works under Sean McVay, especially offensive coordinators, when they go out and they get a head job, they have a lot of success. 38 years old. He did call plays before with the Jets that did not go very well. But he did work with Sean McVay here recently. The Rams have had a great offense.
But he doesn't call the plays with the
He doesn't call the plays, but he has called plays before.
Okay.
And then he did work with Kyle Shanahan, too, as well. So he's worked for some great offensive minds. The question is now, can he run his own team? We'll have to find out.
And will Kyler Murray come back? And
there's
many questions.
There's many questions.
Yeah, but you don't want to rush this. I mean, this is so important.
You tell him that, Trey. Take your time.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Tell Cardinal fans to relax a little bit.
And then the second and the third interview, maybe,
Okay.
whatever it takes, right?
Man.
All right.
How do you pick out anything in your house? You interviewed like that 3 different times?
Sometimes I kind of I have to, marinate on it.
Okay, got it. Names are falling off the list, and you're just starting to wonder, who's going to be left for the Cardinals to hire. It all seems like they're going to make a decision this week, but
oh, really?
Some of that, but again, Troy, some of that process could continue to next week if they like some of those guys that are still out there. We do know this. The Steelers got Mike McCarthy. They introduced him today, and it seems like some other names are off the list too as well. Anthony Campanelli, for now, is staying in Jacksonville. The team announcing he is returning as the Jags defensive coordinator. They made this big social media post, got a new contract there. He was considered a top 3 finalist for the Cardinals job, but keep in mind, they can get out of that. If he gets a head job, something tells me, an offer that comes out there, something tells me he doesn't stay.
He can get out of the contract he just signed?
He can, yeah. If he gets a head job, something tells me he could go somewhere else. Liam Cohen, his boss there in Jacksonville, just did that too as well with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before he got the job there in Jacksonville. The Cardinals also interviewed Joe Brady 1 week ago. He too is staying put in Buffalo. Remember, after they fired Sean McDermott, the Bills are promoting Brady to replace him. He was the offensive coordinator there. Brady was also linked to other jobs like the Raiders opening, but Brian Daboll, the former Giants head coach, is kind of at the name of the top of their wish list right now. LaFleur, listen, if he's the guy, Lena, you don't let him leave the building when he comes to interview this week. What he's done with that offense, he doesn't call plays for Sean McVay, but you look at that tree that McVay has put out there. I mean, I don't know what they do leading up to it. I know some of the things that assistant coaches have to do for Sean McVay. It's pretty impressive, the road you have to climb to get to be somebody that he respects. Clearly, LaFleur is someone he definitely respects. So if it's good enough for Sean McVay, it's got to be good enough here. And I'd have to wonder, you have some insight on how to beat teams in the division.
Exactly.
The Cardinals will take that and then some. Lena, what I'm worried about now is they're starting to get late again, once again, in hiring an assistant, in hiring a coach, which means they're going to get bottom of the barrel assistants again. It's just getting late. Make a decision quick early in this week.
Right. The vacancies are becoming fewer, but the candidates are becoming fewer as well. Mike McCarthy getting hired. They've missed out on Robert Saleh, Jeff Hafley, of course. But to pull away from another team in the division, I think, would strengthen them in some way. Yeah. But a decision should be made sooner than later because you don't want to be looking for someone after the Super Bowl and then trying to pick up the pieces as you plan for next season.
Look, you've been following this for a while now, and it's happened before. the Cardinals looking for a coach.
Yep.
What is the holdup? Why does it always take so long?
We got to ask Michael that question, right? Once again, they're last. Only 2 teams left in this race, Mark. Here's the latest on the coaching search. They are going after the biggest name left, Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. Both the Cardinals and the Raiders will get a crack at the play caller. And it's pretty cool to hear, right? They're definitely trying to figure this all out. He is considered one of the top targets for both jobs. The interviews will take place in person on Saturday in Seattle. The Seahawks, of course, then leave for the Super Bowl on Sunday. Cardinals have other candidates that are waiting. Meanwhile, former Cardinals defensive end J.J. Watt believes the job is still open because of one reason.
Right now, they need to find out what their quarterback situation is for the future. When you're a head coaching candidate and you're sitting there and you're looking at opportunities, the number one first thing you're looking at is who's the quarterback of the team. And is this somebody that I can build off of? And am I going to tie myself to this and my personal success, knowing that this might be my only shot at the apple? It's a beautiful place, great place to go. And when you get the players right, everything can happen. But that's why it's still vacant in my mind right now. And that's why it's not super attractive at the moment, because you don't have an answer for what that quarterback future looks like.
I think JJ answered the question about why it's taken so long to find a coach.
Mark, they got to figure out.
And that makes sense.
But listen,
about the quarterback.
if I'm Michael Bidwell, I find it very hard to believe they're sitting in these meetings and they don't know what they're doing at quarterback. To ask a third coach now, hey, how would you handle Kyler Murray? I just think it's crazy. They have to have a direction behind the scenes of where they're going. At least I would think so.
You think he's back next year?
I don't.
Murray? You think he's gone?
I don't.
Sure.
I don't think it's time to move on to something else.
Interesting. All right.
It's a tough Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't see a storyline that really intrigues me on either side. I'm literally going to be watching for Bad Bunny's halftime show, outside of the fact that we have to talk about the game, of course. But I think both quarterback story arcs are really intriguing. Yeah. Both MVP candidates, 2 guys who were maybe doubted or counted out early in their career, especially Sam Darnold.
A handful of teams give up on him.
I mean, and he just found the right system. Yeah. What's exciting you about this matchup?
Well, I threw this message out on social media. It's hard to root for the Pats because they're the evil empire, right? Or they were, at least. How do you root for the Seahawks? They're in a division. That's impossible.
It's not like back to pack when it was like the Pac-12 and you just root for a team in your conference to perform well on a national stage, right?
I think I'm maybe with you. The quarterback storyline is interesting. I always like rooting for people. Sam Darnold, it feels like, has won a lot of people's hearts here in the NFL.
Sure.
Drake May has played pretty well. I like Coach Vrabel. I'll probably lean towards the Patriots in this one, but I will say the Seahawks look like the best team in football.
They look like they are back in the 2015 era. We're throwing it back to 2016, but they're taking it back to 2015 with this matchup coming up in San Francisco.
Hey, the Suns' homecoming after a long road trip was not great, and their week without Devin Booker started with a dud, losing to the Heat last night. Game 1 of a long stretch here. 15 of their next 18 games are at home. He had some lackluster star power mixed with an awful shooting night from deep, and the Suns just could not keep up with Miami. With Book's ankle set to be reevaluated after this week, and Jalen Green, his on and off hamstring injury issues, Suns know they have to play better moving forward.
We learned from it. We got blown by a lot in that game, especially me. I got to do a lot better at that, especially I'm supposed to be the defender on the team, and I got to lead by example. So, our next opponent, we're going to have to guard the ball better, share the basketball, and make some shots.
Green, by the way, got a workout before the game. Looked to be moving around well. Head coach Jordan Ott said he didn't re-injure anything. They're just being careful with him. Green has only played in 54 minutes this season.
Little fight at the Suns game.
I don't know if it's a fight, Troy.
Scuffle?
Scuffle.
Okay.
We'll be the judge of that.
The fight, you gotta swing, right? You gotta have some. Do punches have to land for it to be considered a fight?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I mean, if you're taking
KO.
a punch, that's
okay. Yeah. So if you get hit or you're throwing punches or they land, then it's a fight.
Okay.
This is more like a scuffle.
Okay.
I like that. Here we go.
Right.
Suns beat the Nets last night, 106-102. The game featured 6 techs, 2 flagrant fouls, 2 unsportsmanlike conduct techs, and a massive scuffle here in the fourth quarter. They're going to push Dillon Brooks.
I knew
That's
it was
a
Dillon.
no-no.
I knew it was Dillon.
Yeah, see right there. And then Royce O'Neal, he's going to push back. Look at the assistant coaches. They just come running onto the floor. Everyone's getting involved. Guys, this took 12 minutes to sort all this out late in the game, right? Suns were without 4 players, by the way, last night, including Devin Booker and Jalen Green. They were without a true point guard. So, folks, you had to get a little scrappy, and the Suns did just that.
Yeah, he didn't deserve my energy. That's why. And We got bigger things to worry about. You know, we got to win games and we got the guys down. So, and keep the float where we're at.
We play hard. We don't flop. We don't embellish. And when that gets brought into the game, and when we feel that creates frustration for our guys, for me, for all of us. When that gets brought into the game, there's some stuff that it's just hard to overcome.
We're not backing down from that. That's not the message that J.O.'s had to us this whole year. That's not the message that VG has had. That's not the message Matt Ishby has had for this team. Like, we're not going to back down from physicality, so wherever that line is, we're okay with it.
Guys, how different is it listening to these Suns compared to last year? I mean, talking about not backing down, you love to hear the attitude from J.O., like they're not being pushed around. You heard Dillon Brooks there. The reason he said they didn't deserve his energy, because after he got pushed there, Troy, he just decided to back off. He watched the whole thing. He knows he's got enough technical fouls throughout the year.
I was going to say, it's like one morning gets suspended or something?
He got one last night. They actually just rescinded it, so he's back at 14. You get to 16, you're suspended for one game. So he kind of just watched that fight. He just kind of hung back and watched it.
That's a little more than a scuffle.
Oh, it is?
I thought so.
Oh, okay. So that's like
yeah.
fight-ish?
There were a lot of people involved.
Yeah.
Two parts of it. Yeah.
So if you grab another person, then it's a fight.
Scuffle, it's just kind of like pushing, around, right?
Are you trying to start something?
It seems like it.
I'm trying to start a fight.
It seems like. All right. So Troy, fight? Yes, no.
Kerfuffle.
A kerfuffle. Oh.
These are good words. These are good words. Guys, I will just say, it's great to see the Suns have this attitude, man. Like they're not backing down. Guys, they're close to a top 4 seed in the West right now.
Wow.
That just goes to show you the
Without
different
key
attitude.
guys.
Without key guys, too, as well. Devin Booker's going to get healthy at some point. Jalen Green's going to get healthy. They'll get full strength at some point, and it'll be fun to watch.
That guy's played like 15 minutes of the entire season.
54 minutes.
Oh, sorry. 54 minutes of the entire season.
The hamstrings are tough there, Troy. Yeah. By the way, the Suns got the Pistons at home tomorrow night. Listen, Troy's hamstrings, you can run all day, right?
Iron.
Right?
He's
Iron Man?
Yes.
Oh. By the way, next Tuesday, you can watch the Suns right here on 12 News. We'll all be here. Iron Man, Tram, Mark, Uribe, Lindsay. Suns and Blazers tip off at 9 o'clock. We got a special 12 Sports Locker Room pregame show coming your way at 8 p.m. Suns basketball back on 12 News.
Okay.
This game featured 6 techs, 2 flagrants, 2 unsportsmanlike conduct techs, and 1 massive scuffle in the fourth quarter. Dillon Brooks picked up his NBA-leading 15th technical foul of the season, but today, the NBA rescinded it. If he gets the 16, he'll face a 1-game suspension. Brooks wishes in those moments refs would listen to more players like him.
But when you're not an all-star, you get the bottom of the barrel. Maybe they might need to go to communication class or something like that to help them out with able to talk with the players and know them as much as we get to know them. In the league, when I first came out, I had to find a way to get respect, and then I slowly did until we got a reputation. And it is what it is, and I play through it every single game.
Technical foul is of a charge to number 3, Dillon Brooks.
Every good villain has a beginning. When Darth Vader turned to the dark side, when the Joker gutted Gotham, when the Wicked Witch won over the Winkies.
That's right. Don't hurt them right away.
Dillon Brooks knows what it's like to be green in the face. His origin story took place in Oregon. Dillon was a duck and just learning to quack back.
I got technical fouls and just passionate player.
11 games into his freshman season, the passion became a liability.
The ref at the time was Dave Hall, and like a legendary ref.
Dillon was unimpressed.
Cussed him out crazy, and I got a technical foul. And coach had to, sit me out, starting lineup for 3 games just to learn.
His body language hadn't been good all year. He's got to change that.
Head coach Dana Altman blasted Brooks after the 1-game benching.
When things don't go quite the way he wants them, sometimes, he doesn't respond real well.
A backhanded compliment and a call to action.
He's a really good player. He's got really good instincts, but he's got to be more of a leader for our team. He's got to set a better tone.
Dillon got the message, then had to deliver his own message to the ref he ripped.
3 games later, Dave was doing our game, and he told me, the only way you're going to start is if you apologize to him. So I went and apologized to him, and he kept telling me, no, you don't need to apologize. I know you're a passionate player. You're a great player. You just need to, find ways to, channel it and use it.
That relationship repaired, but the antics alive and well.
Take a closer look. Oh, and Brooks is gone.
Ever since then, me and him been cool and locked in, and then Coach Altman is was still dealing with the technical fouls after that anyway.
Altman remembers it a bit differently.
I never wanted to take away from his competitiveness.
He said the techs actually ticked down.
Came into the coach's locker one day and said, "Coach, I'll be good if you get me back on the floor," and he was.
The team was too. Dillon led the Ducks to unprecedented heights.
Got us to tournament his freshman year and Elite Eight his sophomore year and Final Four his junior year.
That was Coach Altman's first time. That was our whole team's first time.
A Final Four at University of Phoenix Stadium was Dillon's introduction to Arizona. An origin story in Eugene.
How to, control my emotions and, be on the floor and not get these technical fouls.
A decade later, the villain is in the Valley to stay.
And that's the tech.
In Phoenix, Jake Garcia, 12 Sports.
And speaking of the Suns, back in 2024, the Suns drafted Millennium High School product Deron Holmes in the first round. They immediately then traded that pick to Denver for Ryan Dunn. Well, now Holmes' brother is a senior at Millennium High School. Jake Garcia introduces you to one of the best players in the state, and he's got a great name.
Just like baggy jeans and graphic tees, it feels like the 90s are back. A public school program with one of the best players in Arizona. Public schools throughout the Valley serving as pipelines to an in-state university.
Boy, Jefferson ripping it.
Millennium's Cam Holmes knows the chunky shoes are big, but the footsteps are worth following.
Richard Jefferson stayed, Mike Bibby stayed. They all stayed and played for their hometown.
Holmes is headed to Tucson next year to play for the top-ranked Wildcats. He wanted to stay loyal to State 48 because loyalty is what he's learned from 4 years of high school.
A lot of high schoolers decide to go prep, for their development-wise, but me being here, as a Millennium just took me in as a family, and that's why I decided to stay.
The decision wasn't easy. After yet another exit in the state tournament short of a state title and a coaching vacancy in the offseason, Cam felt conflicted.
I was planning on transferring after my junior year. Being a senior, this is my last year, you want to go all out.
There was also the blueprint from his brother. Deron Holmes made it to the NBA. This after spending 3 years at Millennium and his last year at a prep school.
I had to realize that everybody has a different path. Everybody has a different journey.
A childhood of looking up to him. But in this moment, Cam looked within.
I had to ask myself, what do you want to do? Like, what do I want to do for myself? And I realized, this is where I want to be. I want to stay here.
Cam wanting to stay made Rich Thornton want the job. He moved from Nevada powerhouse Bishop Gorman to Goodyear after Cam gave him the green light.
I triple checked with him and a couple other guys to make sure that they were going to stick around if I came.
The pieces fell into place, and Thornton feels Cam is at peace.
Hometown hero. Local kid, stayed at his local high school, and staying in state.
A case where staying home makes him whole. Cam knows the time will come where he'll spread his wings and leave the nest.
Seeing your older brother get drafted, go up on the big stage and shake Adam Silver's hand, that meant a lot to me because I want to do the same thing.
For now, the future beyond the foreground.
I told him that was you absolutely got to make sure you leave this place as a state champion.
The past back in style in the present.
It means so much to me. It means more to me now that I'm here, that I'm knee deep into the season, that we can go get that state championship.
In Goodyear, Jake Garcia, 12 Sports.
Everyone in the Valley is still buzzing about the biggest high school basketball game in the country this week. Number 6 Millennium and number 4 Sunny Slope, 5 future NBA talents on the floor in a sold-out gym. They were turning people away. If you didn't have a ticket coming into the game, you weren't getting in. Tigers jump out to an early 10-0 lead. Aiden Diggs, one of the best players in the state. Cameron Holmes for the dunk. Millennium had a 4-point lead at halftime, but the Vikings come back in the third quarter. Ryder Portella hitting a 3, and it was Sunny Slope pulling away with some good moves. Darius Wobbington bringing down the house. He had 20 points as Sunny Slope goes on to win this one 61-57. That brings us to tonight's Sunday showcase. Our state has a rich basketball history, but the high school talent we've seen in recent years has been off the charts. And St. Mary's has the number 2 recruit in the nation on its roster. Cam Williams is committed to play at Duke after receiving offers from top programs like Arizona, Purdue, SMU, and Texas. We caught up with the 7-foot senior whose hoop dreams are well within reach. If you could picture a year from now what your life looks like, what would it look like?
Killing it at Duke, just like, becoming a star, and just something I always dreamed of, just taking over, being good at basketball, being a good person, and just like doing everything I dreamed of as a kid. And I think it's gonna be fun next year. I think I'm gonna grow so much as a person, and it's gonna be a great experience for me overall.
All right, well, what about this year? What's the goal? How do you guys repeat as state champs?
So this year, a goal is to win Open State Championship. Last year we won 4A, so like I said, we're gonna strive to do better this year. My personal goal, I wanna win the Gatorade Player of the Year and be McDonald's All-American.
What has been the most important message that you've received in this journey from your coach, from your family?
Yeah, I would say just keeping the main thing, just staying focused and not losing sight of who I am as a person, because all this stuff, a lot of people could get caught up in the moment and like with all this stuff. It's just overwhelming. The amount of support I have, the basketball team has, it's crazy. And it just makes you want to even go harder during these practices and all that stuff, because you know that the whole community's behind you, they have your back, and there's so much love being poured into us.
What's that been like to just be part of now the Duke family?
It's surreal, it's really exciting.
What was the deciding factor for you?
For me, I would say the development aspect, going there, developing, getting ready for the next level. I would also say just the history they have. They had a bunch of players like me, like Jason Tatum, Cooper Flagg, Marvin Bagley. So I think that really stood out to me, and my whole family agreed with it. So I was like, let's do it.
You mentioned Marvin Bagley. One of the other top prospects to come out of Arizona. How does it feel to kind of be that next wave of elite basketball players to represent our state?
It feels good, but I know that there's a lot that comes with that role, and I think I'm ready for it. I just got to stay focused and keep working.
He's going to be the next big name to come out of our state. How cool is that?
Molly Miller's got something special going on at ASU.
Mark, she really does. And listen, this was just a special night in the arena. It was rocking. Territorial Cup game, DFA. Man, they came to watch, right? First rivalry meeting between ASU head coach Molly Miller and Arizona head coach Becky Burke. Devils down 8 in the third. Man, they come all the way back. Marley Washington hits the three. Remember, this team won just 11 games last season. You hire Coach Miller, and bam, they're fun to watch. They hustle, and the Devils will come all the way back to win this thing 68-61, the final. First win over U of A since 2022. Win number 18, most of the season since 2019. Lena Washington in Tempe with reaction.
We saw a couple new faces on the sidelines for one of the oldest rivalries in college sports. Head coaches Molly Miller and Becky Burke meeting for their first duel in the desert.
We're both a little fiery, huh?
I'm not good with rivalries because I take it way too serious and I'm too competitive.
The physicality always ratcheted up when these teams face off. The Sun Devils hungry for their first win over the Wildcats since 2022.
You don't even say their name here. It's teams down south. It's stuff like that is something I really haven't been a part of. It's a true rivalry here, and it's bigger than just basketball.
This is a passion-filled game, and I already bring a lot of energy and juice, and it's our edge, but you feel this. I've had long talks with a lot of alumni the past few days. So to experience it and come out with a win, I'm happy for our players.
No doubt it's a new era for Sun Devil women's basketball. It's been 1,148 days since their last win over Arizona. The 6,100 fans in attendance representing the largest crowd ever for this rivalry game.
I want to celebrate this one, and I think this should echo, but now we're going to turn the page to K-State.
In Tempe, Lena Washington, 12 Sports.
Two brothers from Scottsdale will take center stage in the upcoming Winter Olympics. Matthew and Brady Tkachuk will put their NHL seasons on pause to compete for USA Hockey. The Americans have not won gold in the Olympics since the 1980 Miracle on Ice. The closest Team USA has come to winning is a silver medal in Salt Lake City back in '02. They were led by Matthew and Brady's dad, Keith Tkachuk. Keith said he's disappointed, and it still hurts from losing the gold medal to Canada that year, but he thinks his sons can do what he could not. Keith says he'll be in the stands watching every game, just like his sons supported him when he was playing for the Coyotes back in the day. He said he's still very optimistic. Pro hockey will return to Arizona eventually.
I think if you get things settled there and have a legit ownership, there's no doubt in my mind that'll work. There's passionate fans there. I remember being down at America West Arena before I got traded, and we had some great teams and we had a great fan base, and I think, yes, it'll work there. And I hope someday, Arizona gets a team back there because it's a great place to play and a great place to live.
Look at all those old Coyote memories, right? And there was nobody more famous than Keith Kachuk.
Oh, he was beloved.
Beloved here. And listen, if he speaks it, I believe him too as well. One day pro hockey will be back. But it'll be a lot of fun to watch his sons who grew up here, born here, play in the Olympics this coming up.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Xavier's prep's sister Lynn, she's going to retire in June after 52 years at the school. Guys, that is a long time. Sister Lynn, of course, is a pioneer, legendary coach and administrator, leading Xavier's golf team to a national record 40 team titles in 47 seasons. Decades of dedicating her life to helping kids, helping grow girls' sports here in Arizona. Sister Lynn is in a bunch of Hall of Fames, including being inducted into the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame back in 2018.
Boy, how many lives did she change?
Mark, just think about that. 52 years in one place in one school. Yeah. She coordinates many things that happen inside that building. It's endless.
Like generations and generations.
Generations and generations of just giving back.
There's someone who did it right.
Yes, well said.
Well, that does it for us. Thanks so much for watching 12 Sports tonight on 12+. Same time, same place next Thursday. Don't forget, you can get the best sports coverage in town right here on Arizona Sports Station. Morning, noon, and night on 12 News. And if you miss us, head over to 12news.com, the 12 News YouTube page, or right here on the 12 Plus app on your TV. I'm Jake Garcia. We'll see you back here Sunday night at 10:30 on 12 Sports Tonight.